Today's recap is going to be so much fun because we have so many stupid and random things to talk about, like Aaron Judge kind of calling out the Yankees. Aaron Boone, the manager of the Yankees, he says that they need to bunt more in 2024. So Aaron Judge, yeah, better start practicing this. The GM of the Yankees, Brian Cashman, put his foot in his mouth again, and we have some small updates on Shohei Ohtani, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Cody Bellinger. The first story I want to talk about, we're going to break down the Eduardo Rodriguez saga because he has opted out of his contract. He will not be returning to the Tigers unless they break out the bank and re-sign him, but I don't think that's going to happen. To me, I really feel like he screwed the Tigers because a couple years ago, he went AWOL. He just left the team and no one can find him. Then, a few years later, they traded him to the Dodgers. And behind the scenes, Erod, he was trying to work out a contract negotiation with the Dodgers to make sure that he stays there past 2023 and 2024. But then he decides to use the excuse that I can't uproot my family in the middle of a season. I cannot do that. Well, behind the scenes, you were actively trying to accept the trade. And then when you didn't get what you wanted, you pulled back out and used the family excuse. I mean, again, this is just my perspective. A lot of people are saying, Fuzzy, you're being insensitive. You don't have a family, so you can't speak on the stress of moving a family across the country. But I will say this, Eduardo Rodriguez, after he rejected the trade because he had a full-blown no trade clause, he said, no, I'm not going to go because they're not going to give me more money and renegotiate my contract. From August 8th to the end of the season, after he rejected it, he had a 3.9 ERA and an almost 4.6 FIP. He was actually pretty bad after rejecting the trade. So to me, I feel like he actually lost some leverage, and that's why just now his agent came out and said that, hey, I have no preference on where I play. There are no restrictions on geography, which is encouraging for Dodgers and Giants. Like, of course he's going to say this after he kind of stunk it up and he rejected a trade but used his family as an excuse. But maybe I'm being insensitive. Maybe you guys are right. But I feel like he's simply lying to the Tigers fan base because he tried to work out the trade, but when the Dodgers didn't overpay, he said, nah, I'll go back. I don't know. It's just kind of fishy to me. Now, a few other housekeeping updates we have to talk about. The Cubs have given Craig Counsell, the former Brewers manager, so he stays in the same division, which is not going to make Brewers fans happy. And they're already showing how displeased they are. They are vandalizing, I think it's called Craig Counsell Park or something like that. Yeah, it's been tagged. Okay. But this dude is getting $8 million a year, $40 million to manage a baseball team over the next 5 years, which is a lot more than what the Mets' new manager is getting. So Carlos Mendoza, he is going to be the Buck Showalter replacement. He is getting $4.5 million total over the course of the next 3 years. That's not a lot. I mean, it is a lot to people like us. But in terms of the $8 million per year Craig Counsell is getting for the next 5 years, that's nothing. That's kind of crazy, actually. And then last but not least, in terms of the new managers, Stephen Vogt, the former ace catcher, he is going to be replacing Terry Francona. So there you go. Now we get to have some fun and we get to talk about Aaron Judge and the Yankees kind of unplugging over the last few days because social media has been just having so much fun throwing them under the bus. So Aaron Judge called out New York and said that they are devaluing the wrong numbers, essentially that the Yankees as a franchise are not prioritizing the correct players. He says if it was up to him, they would prioritize RBIs and batting average. I understand batting average because I believe that the Yankees, they were either dead last or second or third worst in batting average last year in 2023, so that makes sense. But RBIs, I don't know if you should focus on that unless you're talking about your batting average with runners in scoring position, maybe a clutch stat. But RBIs is very arbitrary because you could have the greatest season of all time. You could be peak Barry Bonds, but if your teammates suck, you could have 72 home runs and like 80 RBIs. Okay, obviously something like that would never happen, but you get what I'm trying to say. Prioritizing RBIs doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but considering Aaron Boone wants to bunt more in 2024, Alex Rodriguez, he's got to be over the moon right now because he craps on modern day baseball every single chance that he gets. Here, fine. Here you go, A-Rod. Christmas came early. So if Aaron Boone wants to focus on batting average and Aaron Boone wants to bunt more, what does that mean about the analytical department with the Yankees? It kind of means that they don't really have one, and it was confirmed by Brian Cashman. They are strictly an eye test franchise. They look at players, they say that guy's going to be good. Maybe that's why Miguel Andujar and Clint Frazier have all been bust.
People talk about we're analytically driven, right? Do you know we're the least large? We have the smallest analytics department in the American League East. Is that a shocker to you guys? We have the largest pro scouting department in all of baseball. Is that a shocker to you, to everybody? Shouldn't be, but no one's doing their deep dives. They're just throwing ammunition and bullshit and accusing us of being run analytically.
I'm not sure if that was the flex that Brian Cashman thought it was going to be. Like in a very analytical game, you rely on the eye test. Not me. Now in this next clip, Brian Cashman's feet were held to the fire by a reporter by the name of Joel Sherman. He did a great job of asking why Brian Cashman and the Yankees can't really find all-star level positional players in terms of players that they develop. The only guy that we can really think of is Aaron Judge.
So you're saying that we can't produce major...
I'm not saying you can't. I'm asking, you described it as indisputable. I'm asking you where, like, ultimately...
But the example you want to say right now is Volpe, I guess, and Cabrera. Those are the two, right? Peraza. But Peraza's not getting everyday reps. He's got Glaber, he's got Volpe now, he's got LeMahieu. Prior to that was Donaldson. There was not a lane for him to even play. All that matters from my end to you is I think our player development system does a great job. You're questioning whether it does. That's your job to do. Proof will be in the pudding. Let's see how. So if Volpe ends up crushing it this year, are you going to be like, hey, I guess their development system does produce hitters?
I reviewed the movies in front of me. The movies this year weren't good.
Okay,
if the movies are good next year, we'll have a different discussion.
All right, and then I can hear you say, you know what? Remember last year? I look forward to that. Yep. I look forward to you telling me that when Volpe crushes it offensively this year for us, that you'll say, hey, man, I guess your development program did a good job.
They did not want to trade Miguel Andujar or Clint Frazier to make room for Bryce Harper. They had no idea where to put Oswald Peraza, Oswaldo Cabrera, Everson Pereira. Like, they're just kind of winging it and pigeonholing these young players, and you're never going to develop them if they're playing every other Thursday against a lefty because they're a little bit better against lefties. So yeah, this was his response to him being called out that he doesn't really take care of young players. Now, because we just talked about the Yankees, before we talk about this qualifying offer tweet from Jeff Passan, because there's a lot of important information, the Yankees apparently right now, according to the reporters and the other... I mean, it's all alleged. You guys can't really believe this because this is how baseball off seasons work. But right now, the Yankees are apparently the favorites to get Cody Bellinger. I hope that he's prime belly for New York because that would be a lot of fun seeing him and Judge in the same outfield. But that's the update right now on Cody Bellinger. Now, do you see how it says that Cody Bellinger received a qualifying offer? So the Cubs, they gave him a qualifying offer that was actually raised to $20-point-something million. So if you accept the qualifying offer, you're going to make $20-ish million. So Ohtani, he's not going to accept that. Aaron Nola, he's not going to accept that. Neither is Blake Snell or really any of these guys. So the point is, if a player rejects the qualifying offer, your team still gets something. So let's say you're an Angels fan, you're probably going to lose Shohei Ohtani, but you will get a compensation pick from whatever team Ohtani goes to. And this could be huge for any of these franchises who lose their superstars because once upon a time, the Angels, they lost Mark Teixeira in free agency. The Yankees, obviously, they grabbed him. So in return, the Angels got a compensation pick from the Yankees, and they used that pick on Mike freaking Trout. And then kind of vice versa, talking about the Yankees, they once lost Nick Swisher to Cleveland, and in return, they got Cleveland's compensation pick, and they used that on Aaron Judge. So if you're a sad Angels fan or a sad Cubs fan because you're probably going to lose some of your best players, at least you get some picks back. But at the bottom, it says players who did not receive a qualifying offer: Teoscar Hernandez, Jorge Soler, Rhys Hoskins, and Mitch Garver. A lot of people are asking, why did the Rangers not give Mitch Garver a qualifying offer? But then the other people are saying, well, he's not worth $20 million. Jorge Soler, he's not worth $20 million. So if any of these couple guys, Teoscar, Jorge Soler, Rhys Hoskins, or Mitch Garver, if they leave their current teams, the team will not get any compensation in return. They're just gone for free. And I feel like the Rangers, they're probably going to miss Mitch Garver, and he's not going to get them anything in return. I don't understand that. And I like Mitch Garver. I think he rakes. So according to MLB reporter Jon Heyman, now if you guys did not know, we call him the Sauce Man, and we call him the Sauce Man because once upon a time, Jon Heyman, in the span of 12 minutes, tweeted Arson Judge appears headed to the Giants. So if you have no idea why there are memes of Arson Judge, it's because of this guy right here. He corrected it to Aaron Judge appears headed to the Giants, and then he corrected that one by saying, Giants say they have not heard on Aaron Judge. My apologies for jumping the gun. Like this, we call him the Sauce Man for a reason, but Jon Heyman is reporting right now, again, this is all alleged, take it with a grain of salt, that Ohtani has three preferred destinations: the Rangers, the Giants, and the Dodgers. I understand the last two because the Giants and the Dodgers, they have been clearing payroll for Ohtani for the last few seasons. The geographical location is perfect for Ohtani. The Rangers, maybe that's why they did not give a qualifying offer to Mitch Garver, because they're saving their money for freaking Ohtani. Last but not least, let's talk about the Gold Glove winners in the AL. We have Jonah Heim, Nathaniel Lowe, Andres Gimenez, Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman is a free agent, by the way, if you guys don't remember. Anthony Volpe, Stephen Kwan won back-to-back. Kevin Kiermaier, he's got a bunch of Gold Gloves in his award case. Adolis Garcia, Mauricio Dubon, and Jose Barrios. A lot of people are saying that the biggest snub in the AL was Dalton Varsho. And then in the National League, Gabriel Moreno, he won at catcher, but a lot of people are saying that Patrick Bailey got snubbed, and I agree with that. You have Christian Walker with back-to-back Gold Gloves. Nico Horner, I think he's won a couple. Cabran Ryan finally won his first. Dansby Swanson, Ian Happ, Brenton Doyle, the rookie, won one. Fernando, the first time he's ever played right field, he wins a Gold Glove. He's in the running for platinum right now. Ha-Seong Kim and Zach Wheeler. That's the update. So let me know in the comments, what did you make of today's recap? Do you believe that Erod actually had his family in mind, or do you think that he was being a little bit sneaky by saying, I'm not going to uproot my family, while actively trying to get his contract renegotiated so he can accept the trade? You also have Aaron Judge speaking out and saying that they should prioritize RBIs and batting average. Boone wants to bunt more, Brian Cashman, all the different stuff. I don't know what's going on in the game of baseball, but it's hectic.